Have you ever wondered how the US Constitution ensures a fair trial for anyone accused of a crime? Today, we embark on an enlightening journey into the heart of the Constitution, the Sixth Amendment. It's not just an archaic piece of parchment, but a living, breathing testament to justice and equality. From the echoing halls of history to the buzzing courtrooms of today, the Sixth Amendment plays a pivotal role in the American legal system. So, ready to delve into the journey of the Sixth Amendment? Here we go. The origin of the Sixth Amendment goes back to the birth of the US Constitution. It's deeply rooted in the English Bill of Rights, a document that our founding fathers looked to for inspiration. Now, why was there a need for a provision ensuring fair trials? To understand this, let's delve into the historical background leading to the creation of the Sixth Amendment. In the late 18th century, the United States was a young nation still finding its feet. The founding fathers were keen to avoid the pitfalls of British rule, where the scales of justice often tipped in favor of the crown. They wanted to create a system where every citizen, regardless of their status, could expect a fair trial. The English Bill of Rights was a beacon of inspiration. It was a revolutionary document that laid the foundation for the right to a fair trial. It included provisions such as the right to a speedy trial and the right to legal counsel, which were later incorporated into the Sixth Amendment. However, the founding fathers knew they needed to go a step further. They wanted to ensure that not only would trials be swift and fair, but that the accused would be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, be confronted with the witnesses against them, and have the assistance of counsel for their defense. Hence, they crafted the Sixth Amendment, a unique blend of English common law and revolutionary American ideas. They were determined to create a justice system that was not only fair, but also transparent, where every citizen was presumed innocent until proven guilty. It was a monumental task, but they were up to the challenge. They knew that the young nation's future depended on it, and so, they meticulously crafted the Sixth Amendment, ensuring that it covered all the bases, from the right to a speedy and public trial, to the right to an impartial jury. Thus, the Sixth Amendment was born, promising fair trials and justice. It was a testament to the founding fathers' vision of a nation where justice was not a privilege but a right. A nation where the rule of law reigned supreme and every citizen could expect a fair shake in court. The Sixth Amendment is more than just a promise of fair trials. It's a multifaceted gemstone of justice, with each facet representing a specific right that, together, ensure a balanced and fair trial. First, let's talk about the right to a speedy trial. This ensures that the accused doesn't have to wait an indefinite period for their trial, preventing undue hardship. Next is the right to a public trial. This keeps the proceedings transparent, allowing the public to serve as a check on judicial power. The third component is the right to an impartial jury. This prevents the court from stacking the jury with people who might be biased against the accused, ensuring a fair judgment. Now let's look at the right to confront witnesses. This gives the accused the chance to challenge the evidence against them, a critical aspect of any defense. Following this, we have the right to compulsory process. This means the accused can summon their own witnesses, ensuring that every relevant piece of evidence is presented. And lastly, we have the right to counsel. This ensures that the accused has legal representation, protecting them from potential abuses of power and ensuring they fully understand their rights and the proceedings. These components, like facets on a gemstone, work together to uphold justice and protect the accused. They form the backbone of the Sixth Amendment, a critical piece of our legal framework that continues to shape the pursuit of justice to this day. These components work together to uphold justice and protect the accused. Let's examine a real-life example of the Sixth Amendment in action, Batson v. Kentucky. In the year 1986, a man named James Kirkland Batson stood trial in Louisville, Kentucky, for burglary and receipt of stolen goods. As the jury selection took place, the prosecutor used his peremptory challenges to exclude all 4 black potential jurors from the jury pool. Batson, himself an African American, objected to this, arguing it violated his Sixth Amendment right to an impartial jury. His argument was simple yet profound. How could a jury be impartial if it was deliberately purged of people who shared his racial identity? Batson's case made its way to the Supreme Court, which faced a difficult question. Was the prosecutor's use of peremptory challenges to exclude black jurors a violation of the Sixth Amendment? In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Batson. The justices held that a state cannot exclude a potential juror based on their race. The decision was a significant step towards securing the promise of the Sixth Amendment that guarantees an impartial jury to all defendants, regardless of their race, religion, or socioeconomic status. The Batson ruling had far-reaching implications. It established that the Sixth Amendment is not just a theoretical concept but a living, breathing right that courts must uphold in real-life scenarios. It reinforced the principle that every defendant, irrespective of their background, is entitled to a fair trial by a truly impartial jury. Moreover, the Batson v. Kentucky case underscored the importance of vigilance in preserving the integrity of our legal system. It reminded us that the pursuit of justice is an ongoing endeavor, that each case, each decision, can shape the interpretation and application of our constitutional rights. So, Batson v. Kentucky wasn't just about one man's quest for a fair trial, it was a reaffirmation of the principles that underpin our justice system: impartiality, fairness, and equality. The Batson v. Kentucky case showcased the power of the Sixth Amendment in ensuring justice. Now, let's look at another landmark case, Gideon v. Wainwright. This epic legal battle unfolded in the early 60s, when a man named Clarence Earl Gideon was charged with breaking and entering in Panama City, Florida. Unable to afford a lawyer, Gideon asked the court to appoint one for him, citing his Sixth Amendment right to counsel. However, the court denied his request, stating that the state of Florida only provided attorneys for capital offenses. Gideon, a man with an 8th grade education, was left to defend himself. Predictably, he was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years in prison. But Gideon didn't give up. From his prison cell, he penned a handwritten petition to the Supreme Court, arguing that his Sixth Amendment rights were violated. The Supreme Court agreed to hear his case, and in a unanimous decision, they ruled that states are required to provide counsel in criminal cases for defendants who can't afford to hire their own attorney, regardless of the severity of the charges. This landmark case, Gideon v. Wainwright, expanded the interpretation of the Sixth Amendment, ensuring that the right to a fair trial was not just a privilege of the wealthy. The impact of Gideon v. Wainwright on the U.S. legal system was profound. It established the principle that justice should not be determined by one's financial status. It led to the creation of public defender offices across the country, providing legal representation to those who couldn't afford it. This case was a triumph for the Sixth Amendment, strengthening its role in safeguarding the rights of every American, regardless of their financial standing. Gideon v. Wainwright was a victory not just for one man but for the Sixth Amendment and justice itself. The Sixth Amendment continues to shape our legal system today. This remarkable piece of legislation, ingrained in the fabric of our society, continues to be a beacon of hope, a promise of justice to every individual who finds themselves entangled in the complex web of the law. Let's take a look at how the Sixth Amendment continues to be relevant today. It is not just a historical relic we dust off and admire from afar. Rather, it is a living, breathing entity, constantly evolving and adapting to the changing landscapes of our society and legal system. In recent years, we've seen the Sixth Amendment come into play in various high-profile cases. It has been invoked to ensure fair trial in instances of racial bias, to protect the rights of those who cannot afford legal representation, and to uphold the principle that a person is innocent until proven guilty. Consider the case of Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal attorney. His Sixth Amendment rights became a point of contention when his attorney-client privilege was questioned during his trial. Or let's take the case of Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced Hollywood mogul. His lawyers argued that his Sixth Amendment rights were violated when the court allowed testimony from individuals not directly related to the charges against him. These cases and others like them underscore the ongoing relevance of the Sixth Amendment. They serve as reminders that this amendment is not just about protecting the innocent, it's also about ensuring that every individual, regardless of their status, wealth, or power, is given a fair shot at justice. So, we have journeyed through the history of the Sixth Amendment, understanding its components and its impact. We've unraveled its roots, looked into its integral components, the right to a speedy and public trial, an impartial jury, and counsel. We've walked through the hallways of justice with Batson v. Kentucky and Gideon v. Wainwright, witnessing the power of this amendment in action. Next time you hear about the Sixth Amendment, you'll know the story behind those words and the power they hold to ensure justice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I'm Clump of Cells. Stay informed and know your rights.